most intense, thrilling, electrifying sport on the planet. Mixed martial arts. You've been looking for the definitive podcast to call your new home to hear everything about it. The search is over. This is the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. Bringing you the hottest MMA breakdowns straight from the heart of the octagon. This show is all about MMA breakdowns. For fans, by fans. We're talking UFC, MMA, and the occasional big boxing match. We'll bring our unique take on how these fights are going to play out and who we think are the best bets. Welcome to the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. And now your hosts, Olin, a.k.a. MMAnomaly, and Emiliano, a.k.a. Jive Turkey Nano.
What is up, fight fans? Welcome back to another episode of the MMAnomaly Show, No Filter. I'm your host, Olin, a.k.a. MMAnomaly, and with me, as usual, is not the co-host with the most, Jive Turkey Nano. Instead, we've subbed him in again, the man, the myth, the legend, the man with the tips, Pips piano tips, that is. Alex, how you doing, brother?
Oh, I'm good. Yeah, good morning to everybody in the chat. We're coming in a little early today, right after the show. I like these little early morning.
I'm not mad at it.
Morning pods. I like this.
Yeah, I ain't mad at it, brother. I, as you know, I'm traveling Monday through Wednesday next week. I didn't want to miss out on being able to recap such a fun card. And I mean, let's just call a spade here, right, folks? Like, this card, make no mistake about it, was a lot more fun on television than it was on paper. So I'm excited to talk about these fights. There was definitely a lot of action as well as some drama. So let's go ahead and jump on into the top of the card here. We had Sean Strickland coming in against Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. Oh, man. Look, we were wrong, right? Sean Strickland arguably had his best fight in the last 5 years. And I'd say Anthony Fluffy Hernandez had his worst fight since the regional scene, probably. If it just felt like he didn't have a game plan in there. And genuinely, like, I'm just going to throw it out there. I think one of the biggest issues is the fact that Sean Strickland spoke and he said the right things at the weigh-ins. He had the whole crowd booing him in Houston, Texas. And he said, you're booing me. This guy's supposed to be a Mexican fighter. I'm more of a Mexican fighter than him because he's going to want to come out there and hug me and try and take me down and hold me down. I'm going to come out here and try to give you guys a fucking war. I'm going to strike with this man. Being the guy that's like the local favorite and hearing that, you got to think it lights a little bit of a fire and tells you, like, well, I don't want to just go out there and try and hug this guy. I don't want to go out there and just shoot takedowns relentlessly. And that's exactly what happened, right? The fight lasted a whopping 12 minutes and 23 seconds. And across 12 and a half minutes, the man shot one takedown attempt. His lowest takedown attempt output in his UFC career. And I think that's worth noting. Like, I tip my imaginary cap to Sean Strickland. Great job. Great to him. Like I said, it was his best performance in many years. But all that to say, I don't understand what the fuck the game plan was from Fluffy. And I don't know if you heard, Pip, but his corner was yelling, like begging him to change levels and shoot takedowns. In the second and third round, you could audibly hear them. Level change! Please, level change! I heard him say, please, bro. If your coach says please, what are we doing here? It was driving me nuts. I'm gonna jump off the fucking bar stool. What were your thoughts on this one, Pip? I was frustrated.
If he says please, he's begging you. I mean, just shoot, damn it, just shoot. But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, what a performance from Sean Strickland. I mean, perfect knee on the belly as Fluffy was coming in, and you saw Anthony just grabbed his stomach right after that. And then Sean just able to, just swarmed him and got the finish. And this fight did not go at all how I thought it was going to play out. I was definitely thinking, whoever pushes forward and taking the center, I thought they would win. But instead, we saw Fluffy kind of push forward. And Sean just used good defense, great work with the jab, good feints, had Fluffy reacting a lot. Sean had good footwork to avoid just getting backed up to the fence and even avoiding just most of Hernandez's heaviest shots. He did a good job kind of throwing those 1-2-3s while continuously moving left. And Hernandez was able to get in a few times, but Sean had good takedown defense and just completely shut down Fluffy's game. Fluffy had some success with the body shots, similar to what Pierre did. We saw him kind of jab into the body and tried to, land a few good hooks to the body as well. And then he would try and throw that left hook right over when Sean would drop his hands. But Strickland has definitely improved since then. He was able to counter that left hook with a right hand and just showed us that he's starting to add layers to his style. But the year that he was off, he definitely spent getting better. So, actually starting to look like an elite level striker here. I think we unlocked another mythical fighter here. We went from Deshaun Strickland to Juan Strickland. So I feel like I still want to see one more before we give him a run to the title. So maybe a guy like Brendan Alley or Izzy, when he beats the absolute shit out of Pfeiffer, we can get that rematch. But I wouldn't mind seeing Fluffy in there against maybe like a Kai Oberhala or even a Robert Whitaker. But I think both of those would be fun matchups.
I'd love to see Kaio versus Fluffy. I think that's a very fun matchup. I think it's a good litmus test for both men as to where they belong in the top 5 or rather top 10 for that matter. And then for Sean Strickland, I don't know. What was the name that you said?
I think he could do Brendan Allen or Izzy.
Brendan Allen. That's the name that I liked. Brendan Allen. Yeah. Is he matched up with anybody currently?
I thought I heard something about him fighting Dreykus, but I'm not sure if that's been confirmed yet.
I'll tell you right now if it's a Tapology official.
Let me know.
Nothing Tapology official. He's coming off 2 wins against Marvin Vettori and Renier de Ritter. And in the Renier de Ritter fight, he did not take a ton of damage at all. Like, he made that man quit.
Yeah, that was an easy fight for Brendan Allen. He looked really good.
I think that's a fun fight, bro, because if you think about it, Brendan Allen doesn't have a ton of losses in the UFC.
No.
2 of them were to Chris Curtis, the Action Man, Sean Strickland's best bud and training partner, and the other one is to Sean Strickland. So he already got one of those back.
Yeah.
It would be a fun narrative.
Yeah.
Right?
Especially the run that he's making right now.
He did already smoke Allen once, but Allen's an evolved fighter, brother. He signed the Golden Glove.
Right. Hey, if we got Jocelyn Edwards versus Nora too, we can get Strickland versus Allen too. Just saying. Facts.
And let me tell you, number 2 of that fight, we'll get into it a little bit later, was much better than the first one. Yeah. We saw some shit get broke. And by shit, I mean a human being. Like, she broke that woman. Andrew Nance, let's fucking go, brother. Grimy, let's fucking go. And Klaus the Boss, you tried to tell us, bro. You did try to tell us. Strickland's a terrible matchup for Fluff. I just didn't believe it. I don't know. I thought it was the opposite way around. The stud from Kentucky. That's right, baby.
Klaus. Thank you.
That's right. Sean's better than I thought. Wrong. 100%. Yeah, I agree. Sean's style is so frustrating to deal with, brother. It's so annoying. Like, the way that he just walks forward, lifts the knee, throws the teep. Like, he's either hitting you with a quick knee to the body that doesn't do a whole lot, but it posts, it positions, it prods, it annoys, right? It pries. So, like you said, he's got a very annoying style. Yeah, just a very, very annoying style. Speaking of annoying styles, my God, did you catch that Ryan Garcia fight last night too?
No, I did not catch that.
Oh my God. He's now the WBC world champion of his weight class.
Okay. I'll have to go back and watch that.
After 12 rounds of domination, he didn't lose a single round. He dropped his opponent with his right hand, not his left hand that everybody says is his only weapon, his right hand, in the first 30 seconds of round 1.
Okay.
And then just proceeded to beat the absolute fucking piss out of him, bro. Like, the speed, if you want to see just a mismatch in speed, go watch that fight. I advise you. It was very fun. I was telling Miss Mary last night, I actually feel like he might be a orthodox fighter, but he fights southpaw more often than not. So kind of like Dustin Poirier, where he actually has, or sorry, opposite. I think he is a right-handed fighter, but he fights with his I think he's a left-handed fighter, but he fights with his left hand as his lead. He fights in orthodox. So he's like a reverse Dustin Poirier, right? Like, Dustin Poirier was like, hey, his coach basically said, I want you to switch stances. And that's why he's able to generate so much power out of his other hand, right? It's unexpected when he throws those lead hooks.
Right.
But it's his actual power hand. He just fights in the opposing fight stance. I'm starting to think that Ryan Garcia is the same thing, because the way that he was throwing jabs with that left hand, like, they sounded, looked, and felt like crosses, bro. Like, the way they were pushing his opponent's face in.
Oh, I mean, Rock's got power. You've seen him hit the pads. I mean, they sound like shotguns going off when he goes.
It's nasty, dude. Yeah, that was a fun fight to watch. But sticking with the UFC, jumping into the co-main event, we had a bout between Jeff Hands of Steel Neal and Uros the Doctor Medic. Like I said it on the show last week, or rather this week earlier, I said after he fights Euros, he's going to need a doctor. The medic's going to send him to the doctor, and that's exactly what he did. It was nasty, right on the temple. And he almost like posted on his face with his opposing hand, and then boom, just like as he was feeling the fingers fade away, he gets caught. And again, it's not the strongest, it's not the fastest, it's not even the best, most technical strikes that hurt you the most. It's the ones you don't see coming, right? And he didn't see that coming at all. He was literally blindsided. And he dropped like a fucking wet sack of potatoes, my guy. It was it was tough. It was tough. I like Jeff Neal, and like hearing him come out on these podcasts recently and say that he was on like hard drugs and addicted to alcohol and all these other things in between fights and during fight camps. It's tough. Grimy says, is Neal washed? He got washed, bro. He got washed on Saturday. Very washed, says Andrew Nance. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know if he's washed, but I do think that he's got some demons he's dealing with. And if he does hope to have another run or any hopes or title aspirations in the UFC, he's probably going to have to get a change of pace, a change of scenery. I would recommend moving out of the area that he's in and maybe finding a different gym, because he's always been a very good boxer, but not much else. If he could add layers to that game, maybe a world breaker does lie in there, but I don't know. Overall, what were your thoughts on this fight, and what stood out to you most?
Yeah, I mean, big step up in competition. Just a spectacular finish from the Dr. Medic. I mean, he literally knocked the snot out of Jeff Neal. But I mean, that's 3 in a row for Medic by KO. And I'm sorry I doubted you, Medic. I mean, Neal rushed in like 30 seconds in, tried to get close and box almost like they were clinching. Just a tight exchange that he got hit with a nasty right hand. Once Medic found that, I mean, he was able to kind of rush in and get in close. And just kind of box with him. Neal dropped the other hand just enough, and a big left hand gets through and just puts the lights out. But I mean, Euros Medic is a fun personality, puts on a show. So I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing him in there with the Stephen Thompson or maybe even Joaquin Buckley. And for Neal, I mean, he's going to take some time off. But I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing him with a Kobe Covington or I mean, even lazy matchmaking. But I wouldn't mind seeing him in there with Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. But I do have to give a shout out to John Anik. He dropped one of the coldest lines of all time during that. He said, he's talking to Paul and he goes, get your checkbook. Or no, Paul's talking to Bisping and he goes, get your checkbook out for that one. John Anik says to Bisping, he goes, not yours though. Probably won't clear.
That's hella funny. I did not even catch that.
I love that line. What were your takes on Colin?
Oh, man. It didn't last long. Right? Medic came out very aggressive. He pressured Neal with heavy hands. He clipped Mr. Hands of Steel with a massive left hook, like I said, that dropped him right on the temple. Followed up with a couple of quick ground strikes for the KO. It was just 1 minute and 19 seconds into round 1. I think the thing that impressed me the most was probably his footwork, his ability to shuffle in. And anytime that Neal would try and circle out or get away from him, he wouldn't chase him. He wouldn't follow him. He'd cut him off. And that's impressive. It's impressive in the world of MMA. A lot of guys get that wrong. And they just waste a lot of energy, effort, and time, quite frankly, chasing their opponents down rather than cutting them off. Medic did just that, though. He cut him off and just beat him to the punch. I thought it was a hell of a fight. And I don't know, man. What should be next for him? Let's see. Let's look at the rankings for welterweight. So on Tapology, we have Euros is sitting at number 14. I like that. I wouldn't mind seeing him fight Gabriel Bonfim.
Yeah, it's a good name.
Or I don't want to say this out loud, but I think it may make sense. Maybe him versus Bilal would be a fun fight. Bilal's on 2 back-to-back losses. I mean, he's number 5, but you can't really ask to fight up if we're coming off 2 back-to-back losses. Meanwhile, you've got this man, fucking Euros, the Dr. Medic, who is just on a 3-fight tear right now. I don't know. Do you have any names on the tip of your tongue for who should be next for the man?
Yeah, so I mean, I was kind of thinking like a more on the lower rankings, but still kind of up there. I was thinking maybe a Stephen Thompson, I think would be a fun fight, or even a Joaquin Buckley. And Buckley might be scheduled to fight. I'm not 100% sure. But I think honestly, if he jumps to Bilal, if he's in the top 5, I mean, that's probably the most winnable fight in that area for a medic. Just looking at the guys like Ian Gary and Carlos Prates. I mean, those guys are real problems in the welterweight division.
Yeah. I mean, Kevin Holland, if he wins his next fight, would also be a fun shout.
Yes, he would.
But I'm going to be honest. I'm a rude boy, Randy Brown stan. So I'm not going for Big Mouth. As much as I love Big Mouth, I'm not going for him in that fight.
Yeah, he's fighting Randy Brown, isn't he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I met Randy Brown twice.
Okay.
He's coming on the live stream in the chat a couple times. He's fucking.
Oh, well then I'll be rooting for Randy too.
Yeah. He had actually. So the first time I met him in person, he had come in the podcast before I met him, and I was standing in line, me and Nano, for probably an hour, waiting to get up to the stage to meet him and 3 other fighters, and Youssef Zalal was one of them, and he kept looking at me while I was in the crowd, you look at someone, you're like, who is that guy?
Yeah.
And then I get up there and he's like, hey bro, were you here last year? And I was like, I was here last year, but I didn't get to make it to your stage, so we didn't get to meet. And he's like, I swear, dude, you look hella familiar. And I was like, well, you've joined my live stream a couple times and said what's up in the chat. You complimented me on my intro. And he's like, what's your name again? And I was like, MMAnomaly. He's like, my guy. Bro hugged it out, dude. He's cool as fuck.
That's an awesome
He's hella
story.
cool. Yeah, it was a very surreal moment for me. I was like, dude, somebody actually recognized me that I look up to from the show. Sick. What is life?
Dude, I made it.
Mama, we made it. Oh man. Yeah, I think those are all good options for Euros Medic. And as far as Jeff Neal, I don't necessarily want to see him fight anytime soon. I think he should kind of go back to the drawing board. Like I said, probably switch fight camps and take 6 months to recover and just kind of get back into a better mental headspace. The next fight was a little bit lower weight class, right? Talking about these 145ers, featherweight. Dan 100K Ige coming in here against Melquizael Costa. Dan 0K Ige after this one, though, because Melquizael put it on him, bro. I called this. I said that he was going to be too much. He's too long, too strong, too down to get the friction on. You know what I'm saying? He swarmed him from the very beginning of the fight. It looked like it just was not going to go great, right? Ige was pushing the pace. He was trying to move forward. He was trying to stalk the prey a little bit, but Costa timed a beautiful spinning back kick. And I got to tell you, I think it was Bisping was a spinning back wheel kick. Brother, this is an old French style martial arts kick. GSP learned it from Joe Rogan. It's called the rolling sabat kick. Okay. That's what kind of kick it was. And it was meant to go to the body, but our boy Danny, he went for a little shotty shot. You know what I'm saying? And that's what he got. Went for the shot, and that's what he got. Right to the head, bro. I mean, it was nasty. It was reminiscent of, was it Max Holloway versus Justin Gaethje?
Yep.
Where he landed the same thing. Oh, man, it was beautiful.
The first round.
It was picture perfect, bro. And 4 minutes and 56 seconds into round number 1, Costa's athleticism, I think, really shined through here in this fight. And I think he really made a name for himself getting a win over a big veteran like Dan Ige. What's next for him? I mean, is Lerone Murphy actually lined up to fight somebody?
Yeah, he's fighting
if not,
Evlevov, isn't he?
Oh yeah, they have the contender fight. Then we got to do Diego Lopez.
That was his call out. I thought that was a big jump, but I still wasn't mad about it either way.
I'd like that fight. Diego's coming off of a loss. He's 1-2 in his last 3. And I mean, you look at Melquizael Costa, the guy hasn't lost since 2023, bro. That's fucking impressive. How good is Steve Garcia? He's fucking good, bro. Garcia! That motherfucker is tough. He's tough as nails, bro. I wouldn't want to fight him. I'd rather fight Brock Lesnar than Steve Garcia. I'm being completely honest. If Brock beats me, it's going to be one just one punch. Garcia's going to abuse me. He's just going to make me hate life and regret making that decision. Every second of it. Nah. No, too big. Let him fight Arnold Allen. I thought Allen was matched up with somebody, no? He's not. Oh, but Arnold just had a loss already this year. Yeah, get that guy a break. I mean, Garcia is ranked above him, and isn't he the last guy to beat him? Yeah. I mean, they could run that one back. Could be another good option.
Not opposed.
Yeah. Do you have any other names?
Names for Costa. I was thinking if I put my Sean Shelby hat, I was thinking maybe a Steve Garcia for a rematch. I'm really not mad at that. I mean, or maybe even a Yusuf Zalal. I would be mad at that either. Dan Ige, I was kind of thinking you could put him in there against a Nathaniel Wood, or maybe even a Pat Sapini.
I like that. Not opposed to that either.
Yeah, definitely a beautiful, a spinning kick to the face from Costa. I mean, just as soon as that shot landed, you saw the look on Ige's face just go from, I'm going to try and get him up against the cage to, oh shit, I'm fucked. I mean,
surgical.
I mean, 6 in a row for Costa now. First place to finish Ige. And like you said, I mean, you kind of saw Ige looking to back up Costa and ducking a tad bit in the wrong place in the wrong time and just ate that foot to the face. I mean, Costa's a nasty striker. He's got good leg kicks on another level, good knees, good body kicks, even some head kicks that got through. So it was just a fantastic performance.
Grimy.
That's not a bad shout either.
Both guys are really interesting on the feet and both have really deadly jiu-jitsu. I'm not opposed to that by any means. I think that could be a very fun scrap. Yeah, I think that could be a very fun scrap. Man, moving into the next fight, we had the big boys, them heavyweights. Talk about Sergey the Polar Bear Spivak and Ante Delija. Let me ask you, Pip, before I ask you for your breakdown on this one. When is the last time that we saw like 2 broken noses in the same fight card? And I don't mean like a little break. I mean like fucking leaky faucet sinks. You know what I'm saying?
It's been a long time since we've seen, just 2 people busted up like that.
And like both in the main card is wild. Like Ante Delija and Zach Reese, my God. And there was a moment in, I think, the 3rd round when Zach Reese like grabbed his bridge and went and blew it. And I'm like, no, you can't do that.
Bad
even Mary was like, why did he do that?
Yeah, I mean, even for heavyweights, though, I mean, you usually don't get to that stage when your nose is all busted up. You're usually asleep in the first round, by the way those guys were throwing.
Yeah, and again, like I said this in the breakdown, one guy weighs like 25 pounds more than the other, and that's the guy who was breaking this homie's nose. Like, he's got 25 pounds on you, and he is hammering your face in. Like, the amount of strikes thrown. When's the last time we saw a heavyweight land over 100 strikes in a 3-round fight?
Yeah.
The fuck?
Well,
Sergey, he's a judo guy.
Steve Asplin's doing pretty well. Just
Big Steve.
Gotta get some love for the boy.
All right, tell the people how you felt about this fight, and I'm gonna put some eye drops in because my allergies are fucking me up today.
Do your thing, brother. No, but Spivak put on a great performance against Ante Delija. Just nonstop pace, very entertaining. Both guys had great moments, but Spivak just had a good game plan. Spivak was really good in round 1, just nasty jab, very effective and precise with his striking. I expected more grappling from Spivak, but I mean, it played off very well, and we saw that going into like a minute in the fight. We saw Ante just feint very heavy. And he would completely stop his movement and then throw, and that was a big tail sign that he was getting ready to engage. And you see Ante getting ready to throw. Spivak would already have that jab in his face, busted his face up bad at the end of the second round. Spivak was really starting to put that cross behind it. I thought Ante had the speed advantage, but Spivak did a good job just being able to throw and just step back so Ante couldn't land. But I mean, it was a great fight overall. Ante had slowed down a lot in the 3rd round. He was able to get that takedown and just get the win on the ground. Great performance from Spivak. You can definitely tell that he's been working on his striking. But this version of Spivak could be a real problem. Just more proficient striking, and we all know how good his ground game is. So I'm thinking maybe a Spivak versus a Sergey, and maybe Ante versus Shamil Gaziv.
Shamil O'Neal, as we call him. Love that guy. That's a fun shout. That's a really fun match. I think I was already hyped on Sergey Spivak. I won some money on him as well. But dude, like, genuinely, I thought that he was going to go out here and grapple a lot more. Like, he only attempted 4 takedowns and he only landed 1. He did rack up a little over 3 minutes of control time across the duration of the fight. But honestly, the boxing that he put on display surprised the fuck out of me. And then him grabbing the mic from Bisping and saying, I know I'm one of the best boxers in the heavyweight division, brother. Like, what a stud, and so humble, obviously. I was very impressed.
Beautiful on the mic, dedicating the fight to his dad as well. I mean,
it was fantastic. And then, Bisping said after he said, I'm one of the best boxers in heavyweight, he's like, I got to think your dad would be proud of that. It was a fantastic fight. It was fantastic on the mic. We had a lot of good moments on the mic, actually, surprisingly so. Even Sean showing respect to Hernandez. That was nice. Yeah. But this Spivak fight, like I said, if he continues to improve at this vapid of a rate, he is a massive, massive problem for a vast number of heavyweights that, are in the UFC. And by vast, I mean all 25 of them. Because there's not a lot. I would like to see him fight Sergey Pavlovich. Or no, they fought already, huh? Did they fight? They fought already.
Did they fight?
They did not fight. No, okay, yeah, I was right. They have not fought. Fuck yeah, that's who he has to fight. Sergey Pavlovich, I think, makes a lot of sense.
I agree.
Otherwise, Volkov's been sitting on the shelf for what feels like a while. Drago, put him in there. I think the size difference there would probably be a fun watch and an interesting style matchup. Volkov versus Spivak is the fight.
Yeah, it's a good shout, Grimy.
Yeah.
Good shout.
Yeah, and Shamil O'Neal. I'm not mad at that one either. I think that'd be a really fun match. I'd like to see how Shamil would be able to deal with the pressure that Sergey has, because Shamil's usually the front foot fighter. We haven't really seen him be put on his back foot super often. So I think that'd be a fun one. Let's talk about fights that were not fun. Let's talk about a welterweight bout between Jacoby Smith and Josiah Harrell. What the Harrell was that, bro? We knew someone's had to go. Both guys were coming in undefeated with 11-0, identical records. The difference is one guy was coming in with a brain bleeding position, right? Moya disease. He got a surgery, as they said on the mic, which I thought was very interesting. Not sure that fixes that out, right? And then he gets knocked out, and make no mistake, he was out, bro. He was out like a light bulb. And he then proceeds to absorb an additional 7 or 8 strikes. Head bouncing off the fucking mat from reverberation of those strikes. When it was stopped, he was not moving. His foot was twitching. And then when he got up, I don't know if you saw in the background, whenever he was standing up, dude was trembling. Every ounce of his body was shaking, bro. I genuinely hope that he's okay. Dana said that they're taking care of him, that they're keeping an eye on him over the weekend. And Dana said that was one of the worst stoppages and worst knockouts he's ever seen. So the guy that's been doing this for 30 years now, you got to think if he says it's one of the worst ones he's ever seen, it was pretty fucking bad. And I thought so. My lady had to get up and walk away from the TV. She didn't know about the Moya disease. And then when I told her, she's like, no, stop talking. I don't want to know anything. And I said this on the pod, this could ruin somebody like a young Jacoby Smith's career. Imagine something happens to this guy. Again, whether it's today, this week, this year, or 2-3 years down the line. If I'm Jacoby Smith, when this guy's time comes, I'm asking myself, damn, how much of that is because of those extra shots I landed? Should I have pumped the brakes and just pointed to the ref and say, stop the fight? So I don't know, man. Kerry Hatwell should be fucking ashamed of himself. I tweeted as much last night, and I will stand on that. Your job, above all else, is to protect the fighters. That comes before enforcing the rules. Protect the fighters. That is your job. It's your sole purpose. And he failed to do his job last night, so I was upset with that. But Pip, what were your thoughts on the fight?
Yeah, I mean, even going back to what Dana said, I mean, this being a bad knockout and the worst one that you see in 30 years, I mean, that's up there with the Bryce Mitchell knockout. And I mean, that one, it was pretty bad. I mean, you did see him struggling to get back up. Yeah, saw him struggling to get back up, and just I am worried about him, so I'm happy the UFC is going to try and look after him. And I'm hoping to see an update that he's all right. But I mean, overall, I mean, it was a beautiful and a brutal KO from Jacoby Smith. Like you said, the ref should have got in there a lot quicker than what he did. I mean, Smith landed a knee. Josiah was able to catch it and then just got the takedown. He immediately rolled through. Was able to reverse the position. Then from the second shot Jacoby put on Josiah, I mean, the lights went out and so many unnecessary shots got through. I mean, at least 10 or 11 were too late. And we talked about it last time on the show, like you just mentioned, but Josiah was not a guy that I wanted to see, in the UFC or get hurt like that, and especially in that kind of fashion with the brain disease that he does have. I mean, it was a fun fight from what we got to see. Saw some wild exchanges. Both of these guys weren't very sound when it comes to having your hands up, but just both were able to kind of get out of range and slip some shots. But Jacoby showed us pretty quick that he had an advantage in the wrestling as well. Jacoby Smith is a guy to keep an eye on, some serious power, good grappling ability. And Jacoby Smith has had, 12 pro fights, 10 of 12 of them he's won by KO. So, I mean, Jacoby Smith is a problem. And I say give the man what he wants. I mean, he called out Kevin Holland, so I wouldn't be mad seeing that. And if that doesn't pan out, I wouldn't mind seeing him against Jake Matthews as well. What are some good matchups you got for him?
How do you do that? Like, I thought I had an obscure name that you're for sure not going to say, and then you're like, or I wouldn't mind seeing him against Jake Matthews as well. I had Jake Matthews written down for this one. I actually wrote the name down for this one. I think Jake Matthews is a great matchup for him. There was another name that I think Grimy put. Yeah, Grimy threw in the chat here. I'd like to see Smith versus Joel Alvarez, but they won't do that. Nah, dude. If you get the two new shiny toys, you're not going to slam them into each other and possibly break one of them. That's no fun. You put them on the shelf. You don't let the other kids touch those. You know what I'm saying? You protect those shiny toys as long as you can. That's what Uncle Dana's going to do. Based Aqua. Jacoby went to the ground and pound. Went to ground and pound him like he owed him money. Bro, he did. He literally beat that man like he owed him money. He beat him up like that guy stole his little sister's tricycle or something, bro. Like, it was nasty stuff. Beating him like he owed rent in that octagon.
I was really hoping he would snatch up an armbar, man. I was really hoping he would get a submission.
Yeah, just like don't do that. Like, do the Khabib. Like, I don't want to do this in front of his family. Yeah, that was tough. The guy's a specimen, bro.
Yeah.
I think he looks like an action figure and he fights like someone in a movie. Like the elbows, the punches, the stoppage was terrible, but the actual performance from Jacoby was fantastic. So yeah, I'm saying Jake the Celtic Kid Matthews should be next for him. If we don't want to go that high, if we want to slow burn him, maybe we do Muslim Salikov, the King of Kung Fu.
Yeah,
I think that'd be another solid matchup. See if he can handle that old man strength, Moving into the next one, we had another nasty nose break in here in a fight that I thought was very, very poorly judged. Talking about a Zach Reese versus Michel Pereira, or as I like to call him, Bitchel. I mean, the guy just fucking cheats and cries wolf and cheats. Good Lord. Give me a fucking break, bro. He faked 3 fouls. Okay? The eye poke, dude rubbed his eye. Like, he did rub, right? It was down his eyebrow, and he came on the outside of the eye. Like, that's not poking my eye, bro. That's what he did. And then the first 2 inside leg kicks were exactly what I just said, folks. They were inside leg kicks. They weren't inside groin kicks, I promise you. As being somebody that has trained and watched fights for many years, when you kick the cup, it makes a much different sound than when you kick the leg, right? When you kick the leg, it sounds like that. When you kick the cup, it sounds more like, because you're hitting a plastic substance, like a titanium plastic that, with all due respect, hurts the fuck out of your shin. If he would have kicked the guy in the groin, he would have had a bad hematoma on the front side of his fucking shin bone. Did he? No. He didn't even have any redness there because he was kicking that homie in his skin, in his soft little fucking legs. And look, he had a busted up nose. He was spitting blood. He was fucking blowing blood. Not sure if you saw, I think it was in between round 2 and 3. Cut man, chef's kiss. Chef's kiss, okay? At the end of round 1, they put that in-swell on him and made the swelling on his eye go down fucking significantly. At the end of round 2, his nose was it was like mine, you know what I'm saying? His noses aren't supposed to be able to do that shit. But here we are. He put the lozenge stick up the side that was like, he literally felt around, put it up one side, moved it, and then put it up the other side, grabbed and went. He basically reset homie's nose in between round 2 and 3 so he could at least like alleviate the cartilage and allow for like flow of air. Not a lot, because there's a lot of fucking blood mixing in there, but still, like, he essentially saved that guy for the round. And that's something that a lot of people don't realize in those nuanced moments. Like, these cutmen are some of the best in the business. I should say some of these cutmen are some of the best in the business. And I'm glad he had a good one, because it meant that we got to see this war unfold. And that's what it was. It was a war, man. 81-70 on total strikes landed, 74-63 on significant strikes landed, and 1-2 on takedowns landed. Now, of the 2 takedowns that Michel Pereira got, since that's the only stat that he actually did better than Zachary Reese on, 0 submissions attempted and less ground strikes landed. When Zachary Reese got his 1 of 3 takedowns, he actually did attempt a submission. And he almost got it. So I just don't understand, genuinely, how you score this fight for Michel Pereira. And I think there was a 30-27 in there.
Yeah.
That is insane. Whoever that judge was, you take him out back like Old Yeller, right? Like, he's not here anymore. You don't hear from that guy anymore. This was upsetting. And like, again, I bet on Michel Pereira, but it was still upsetting. It was very upsetting, because I thought Nano's man crush had done enough to get the dub, bro. But he got snubbed. One of the things I will say from a technicality standpoint is I thought that Zachary Reese, he's 100% man. All right, he is a man's man. He's a blue collar fighter, and you can tell by the way he throws out there. But I wish that he'd just improve the fight IQ a little bit, because Pereira, when he's in stance, he keeps his hands really low like this and kind of widened. He's trying to block the body because he was eating those body kicks often. So if someone's here, instead of throwing looping hooks where they can just simply raise their hand, you throw those quick straight shots. And our guy Zach, he was just not throwing a lot of straights at all, or even uppercuts. Just fucking slice some uppercuts up the middle, bro. His hands are wide. He's not going to be able to close that gap faster than you're able to get that uppercut in. And chances are when he's closing, he's going to see you throw and just attempt to block whatever's coming forward facing. You'll slip it right under and hit him in that fucking chin. There were just a lot of opportunities that he had that I thought that he just didn't take. And it was frustrating, but ultimately it cost him the fight. That's why they tell you don't leave it in the hands of the judges. And he did just that. Pip, what did I miss? What meat's left on the bone?
I don't think there's any meat left on the bone, so I'll give you my recap, but it might sound very similar. But yeah, no, I mean, we started the night off with a lot of fouls, and we ended in a robbery. We got some nut shots and an eye poke, but honestly, I thought the fouls were a little milk, like you said. Overall, I mean, it was a pretty fun fight. Both of these guys landed some good shots. Zachary Reese had a good left hand. Michel Pereira had some good right hands. We saw Zachary Reese chop at the leg a little bit. Not too much that was actually affecting him, but he was definitely trying to limit the movement of Michel Pereira. And this was actually the most leg kicks that he actually threw in any fight in the UFC. Even had some good time takedowns, but overall it was pretty competitive. One thing Reese was doing poorly was rushing in forward with kind of just no regard for anything coming back his way. And Michel found that right hand in the third, and Reese was able to kind of just get ready to rush in, boom, and then straight or an overhand came from Pereira. It seemed to be kind of more effective in the first 2 rounds where we saw Pereira struggling on the back foot and just adjusted in that third. But overall, I thought Zach won this fight. I mean, he had good body kicks, some flying knees, and I thought he landed the more damaging shots. Michael may have had the optics. A few shots that actually got to Reese had him wobble a little bit. The bloody nose from Reese, like you said, was pretty bad. So I'm not sure I agree with the decision. I thought Reese at least rounds 1 and 2. But even on paper, like you said, I mean, he landed more significant strikes and more total strikes. I don't have to go over that, but I mean, what do you got next for either of these guys?
So I'll be honest. I like the name that Grimy said, just because I do want to see Michel Pereira get knocked the fuck out.
That's fuck, dude.
Atiba Gauthier is somebody that I like to say he always has the nuclear option. Like, he could be down in a fight, and he's always got the nuclear option, right? I really do like that one a lot. Another one that I like is Sharabutin Magomedov. I think that would be a very, 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 very fun fight. And I think that Shara probably does bad things to him. If we want to see him actually get kind of more of a step up in competition, this man is on a downhill skid so far. Since 2023, he has not had a win, 4 back-to-back losses. I'm talking about the Italian dream, Marvin Vettori. I'd also like to see Marvin Vettori get back in the win column, and I think that he could probably do that over somebody like a Michel Pereira, just because to beat somebody like Michel Pereira, who is, let's face it, just a wild man in there. Like he did a front flip rolling thunder kick in there at one point. You need to be fundamentally sound and have unlimited amounts of cardio and pressure. And guess what? Marvin Vettori checks all three of those boxes for me. So it's a winnable fight for him. Do I think it would be as fun or as exciting as this from Grimy? No, not at all. So yeah, let's just say Teba Gatier. Let's do it. I'd love to see it. With that, let's jump into these prelims, boys. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang in Chukwani coming in against Carlos Leal, aka connect the back knee, or connect the dots at the back knee here. I mean, I'll say it again. Have we ever seen a fighter other than Brock Lesnar with so many telltale signs that he does the roids? My homie that deactivated all of his social media randomly texted me for the first time during the fights. He texted me during this fight and said, "Did you hear Bisping on the mic? I'm surprised this one's gone 3 rounds already." Like he doesn't realize that this fucking roid monkey is on all of the juice. Like he's not gonna get knocked out.
He's got some extra.
You know what I'm saying? He's extra juiced up. Again, this is another one where I just don't see how you score it for the man that won the fight. Like, no man got knocked down. 124 to 126 on total strikes. Very close. I got it. 120 to 115 on significant strikes. And 0-2 on takedowns versus 0-5 on takedowns. So one man failed less on the takedowns, landed more significant strikes, actually made his opponent bleed. And look, I get it. Like, some skin is built different. That man was just not breaking when he was getting hit. I'm talking about Chitty Bang Bang. But he bloodied and marred the face of his opponent. And again, I thought he had the better exchanges. I don't understand. I genuinely don't understand how you score this for anybody but Chitty. I was very let down by the judges' scorecard in this one. But it was a very fun fight. It was a fucking banger for the entirety of the fight. I was really liking the knees from Njokuani too. Like, he threw a lot of really clever knees. And that's another thing that Zach Reese actually did really well. He and Mary pointed this out. He's got really good reaction time. Like, there was a moment where he failed on a takedown, and then as he was getting up, he just sliced his knee up and caught Pereira in the fucking chin. I love seeing things like that. And Chitty Njokuani was doing very similar things. Whenever his opponent would shuffle forward, and they clashed heads a handful of times because of the way that Leal moves forward with his fucking head, he would just slide that knee up or hit him with a fucking quick uppercut. Those were nasty, fundamental moves. And I think that those should have secured the W for him. But am I on a different kind of juice? Am I on the crazy juice right now, bro? Did you think that the judges got this one right?
No, so I mean, I can't argue that it was, a robbery, because I did think the fight was very competitive. I mean, this was the fight of the night for me. Both these guys threw nonstop for 15 minutes. So I'm kind of with you there. I mean, I don't agree with the decision. Like I said, I'm not going to call it a robbery. I mean, it was very close. In my personal opinion, I thought Chitty took rounds 2 and 3, but a great performance from both men. I mean, Carlos was just in Chitty's face the whole time, just heavy pressure, throwing a lot of combos to the body, heavy shots to the head, a lot of left hooks to the body, and would throw a cross right behind it. And Chitty was taking some punishment early, but had good defense. Chitty, like you said, I mean, he was able to chop at those legs, knees to the stomach as Leal was pushing in. Chitty landed a lot of good teep kicks and body kicks from the fence. And striking like that on the fence too was pretty impressive. He had some good elbows as well. Just showed his Muay Thai style. I wish Chitty was a little bit more active. I thought that probably could have won him the fight if he just threw a little bit more. But I mean, Carlos Leal did not take a step back the whole fight. From the first minute, these guys were trying to get the finish. Honestly, I want to see a rematch. I'm not sure if Dana's going to like that for me. So maybe a Cheetah versus a Jeremiah Wells. And I'm going to be lazy here, but I could also see Carlos Leal versus a Jacoby Smith. Got any matchups for these guys?
That's a fun one. Jacoby Smith. Jacoby Smith versus Leal would be fun. I think that'd be one where we could definitely see Leal get knocked out. Jacoby has just fucking dynamite for hands. Like, let's face it, bro. I actually really like that fight. And they're right next to each other on Tapology, number 30 and number 29. Okay. The other name that I had was Punahele Soriano.
Okay, yeah.
I would love to see Punahele get in there. He's somebody I was high on when he first came in, and then he was like really kind of up and down like a roller coaster. or an elevator. But he's really started to come together with the training, I think. He had a reverse moment that we don't see very often in MMA or UFC specifically, where, a wrestler comes in, they get the knockout and they forget they had wrestling. Like Punahele did that, but he's kind of come back and he's like, oh fuck, I'm a pretty good grappler too. I could do that too. Like he's a really good grappler. So I like seeing this guy in there every time, and he is just fun as all get out to watch, right? And in his fight, he got 3 or 4 takedowns. That's what I'm saying. Like he looked good. I think that'd be a fun matchup. Carlos Leal versus Punahele Soriano. Sign him up. In the flyweight division, we had a much closer than expected fight between Ode Osborne and Alibi Idris, which we thought he was going to need an alibi for the ass whooping he was going to put on Ode. But man, we were wrong, huh? The live odds for it were just fucking shifting all over the goddamn place. Ode got dropped like 3 times in the first round.
Yep.
Fun fact, not one of those counted as a knockdown because he landed on his knee, not his butt or his back. They just consider that taking a knee, I guess, which in boxing, isn't that considered a knockdown? Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know, guys. We need to look at these rules, folks. So yeah, I mean, it was a tough fight for Alibi. I think it was a much tougher fight than he expected it to be, for damn sure. He racks up 2 minutes of control time almost in every single round. It was almost clockwork, right? 2 minutes in round 1, 2 minutes 15 in round 2, 1 minute 55 in round 3 of control time. Meanwhile, Ode Osborne did not rack up any control time until round number 3. He got 58 seconds, just under a minute. And in round 1, the strikes were very close, right? Not total strikes. It was 19-8 on total strikes. But if we're talking about significant strikes, it was 12-8. If we're talking about significant strikes in the next round, it was 14-7 in favor of Ode. He doubled up on him. And then in the final round, it was 10-3. Or sorry, 10-11. Like it was a 1 strike differential when it came to significant strikes. So I thought that it was a very, very close fight. I do think the judges got this one correct. And Alibi looked good, but he showed a lot of holes and he showed a lot of immaturities in his fight tenure. I think the rushing forward left him open to a lot of shots. He was also loading up on some things. And I get it. Fighting somebody like Ode is I like to call him a herky jerk style fighter because he's just kind of all over the place, like fucking movement. He's like the FedEx guy in the Mad TV fucking little skits they used to do. What's up, dude? He's that kind of fighter. It's hard to plan for somebody like that, like a Michel Pineda, right? Like you don't know what that guy's gonna do. He's a fucking weirdo. So he's hard to fight, and I like Ode for that reason. But Alibi, he adapted well. Obviously, the first round was his best round, hands down, and he started to fade a little bit after that. So thank God it was a 3-round fight for his sake. He got it done, and he looked pretty darn good doing it. Pip, anything surprise you about this one?
Yeah, I mean, nothing overly surprising. I mean, I definitely didn't expect Alibi to actually get the job done. It was a very close fight, so I was kind of thinking it'd be more on the closer side. But I mean, Alibi with a good win over a vet like Ode Osborne. I mean, Alibi found success early with looping right hands that, like you said, hurt Ode on multiple occasions. Just heavy pressure in Ode's face the whole time. Good takedowns as well. Alibi was able to score and just, really affected Ode as well going into the third round. I thought both of them started to slow down a little bit going into the third round. Ode did find some success with the 1-2s down the middle, even some good body shots, but it wasn't enough to keep Alibi at distance or to keep him off of him. Alibi was able to just keep the pressure the whole fight, never really slowed down except for that third round, like you said, and looked pretty good overall. I mean, after a win like Ode Osborne, I think you could probably give him a guy like Sung Park and Ode maybe versus a Nate Maness, just because I think that would be a firework matchup.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, with somebody like this, you don't want to throw him to the wolves too fast, right? He is young. He is still very much learning. I think Alden Korea fought right before him. It's a solid matchup. Both guys coming off of wins, both kind of young in their tenure, and both right around that same kind of echelon of skills, I think. But yeah, not opposed. I think that's a good one. We'll go ahead and move into that fight. We had a flyweight bout in the next one too, between Alden Korea and Luis Gurule. Or maybe it's Gurule. Either way, he got beat up. Pip, I'll let you take the lead on this one. What were your thoughts on this fight?
Alden started off just measuring the distance. Not too busy, but he did a good job just avoiding the power shots from Gurule. He even had Gurule rushing in and just ran into some of Alden's shots. Alden did a good job chipping away the calf. Had some good inside leg kicks as well. Was just able to throw and immediately get out of range to avoid counters from Gurule. Did some nice work against the cage. Landed some elbows. Good shoulder strikes as well. Definitely the faster and sharper boxer in this fight. But I mean, overall, this kid is pretty good everywhere. I mean, good striking, good boxing, very fluid, and able to mix to the body head combinations effortlessly. He was able to reverse positions when he got taken down. He was able to land some takedowns of his own. So, I mean, I'm definitely interested in watching, Alden progress down the line. I mean, he's a young prospect. And he seems to be a composed flyweight, and this is only his second fight in the UFC. I mean, he looked like a seasoned vet in there. So I don't know if you have any good matchups for these guys or not, but I'm very excited to see Alden get back in there.
Yeah, I mean, from my standpoint, I thought the things that he did really well were applying his kind of relentless high volume striking. He utilized a lot of lateral footwork and level changes, and he was creating angles everywhere he went, man. Like he'd throw a 1 or a 1-2 and then just dip out and create an angle, which is something that Ian Miller, when he was on the pod, talked about ad nauseum, right? And doing that, he was able to overwhelm Gurule's guard. He stuffed takedown attempts very effectively. He maintained constant forward pressure and combinations, and he just edged him on overall output and damage in the fight, right? Like I think we actually agreed on this when we talked about this a few days ago.
Yeah.
He was just going to be a step ahead of this guy everywhere it went. And that's exactly what played out inside of the octagon on Saturday night. Like, again, he stuffed 2 of 3 takedowns from Luis Gurule. Really did not let him rack up a ton of control time when he did actually get a takedown either. Like if you look at the control minutes, Luis Gurule got 1:21 across 3 rounds. Alden Correa got 1:42 across 3 rounds, and he was not trying to take him down. He was just trying to essentially beat him up on the feet and utilize the takedowns to mix things in and make him question the level changes, right? If someone is mixing in takedowns to the point of trying 4 times in a fight, that's only 15 minutes long. They're coming down like this, right? So every time they do that, your instinct is to almost get low and sprawl. So if they come in like this and then throw an uppercut, you dip your head right into it. We saw that happen 3 times in this fight that I saw. So again, like it's technical fundamentals, and these are the surefire ways to win fights, in my humble opinion. This guy is someone to watch. Like I said, I'd like to see him kind of get that slow roll. I don't want to see him get fed to the wolves very quickly. I think O'Day Osborne was kind of a too big of a jump up for somebody like an Elibi Idris, and they maybe damaged the product a little bit in that fight. I think it'd be good to see these 2 young studs go against each other, Alden Correa and Elibi Idris, and then kind of the winner gets the spoils of war, and then we start having those top 20 conversations about that guy. Now in this women's bantamweight matchup, my goodness, brother, it was a rematch between Nora Cornell and Jocelyn Edwards, who, again, I said Jocelyn Edwards is somebody who is very fun to watch, but can be frustrating at times because she does have that size differential. She does have that big edge and power, but she doesn't always have the best fight IQ, right? But she weathered the early striking pressure that Cornole presented, and then she capitalized on a scramble by taking the back during the transition. She secured hooks, flattened Cornole out, and sunk in a rear naked choke. But we have to talk about the fact that Cornole was not all there for that rear naked choke, right? She got lifted and slammed during that scramble. And the way in which she got slammed, right? So her opponent grabbed her, and she was on a side grab or a side hold, lifted and then jackknifed her down. And when she went down with it, her hand created a little bit of space and pushed that shoulder in, and it also pushed her elbow into the low ribs. The low ribs don't take a ton of pounds of pressure to break. And they're notably easy to break and re-injure if they've ever been broken. I know, I've had ribs broken. It sucks. And, everyone was saying that they thought the shoulder popped because she was holding herself like this. I genuinely would not be surprised if a day or 2 goes by and we find out that she broke a couple ribs. And I also wouldn't be surprised if it was the shoulder and the ribs. The way in which she came down was tough. So yeah, I thought that was another one where the ref probably could have stopped that a little bit earlier. Probably could have stopped it in the striking exchange before she even had to get choked out, because again, she was not all there. She was still trying to clear the cobwebs. She got knocked out, I think 2 strikes after the slam, and then got woken up 2 strikes after that, and then probably another 8 more before getting choked out. Like what were your thoughts on this fight? And do you agree? Like, should it have been stopped much sooner?
Yes, it should have been stopped probably on the slam. I mean, there didn't need to be too many shots afterwards that really got through it. She did not need to get the choke at all. I mean, she essentially got like a KO and a submission in this fight. But I mean, overall, I mean, Edwards was able to right the wrong this time around. Just a nasty slam, like you said, that just rocked Nora. It probably broke something, either a shoulder or some ribs, or a combination of both. Just unloaded some heavy ground and pound, found the rear naked choke. We got a 2 and a 1. I think the ref should have just stopped the fight, once the slam happened. But just a phenomenal job from Jocelyn Edwards this time around. I mean, that's 4 in a row. She's on an absolute tear right now. And we saw the difference in the game plan. I mean, right away. I mean, Nora was definitely looking to strike and even hurt Jocelyn in the first minute of the fight, landed some good knees in the clinch. Jocelyn was able to just kind of get the fight to the ground. A lot of heavy pressure against the fence, found the takedowns and got the job done. But I mean, overall, I mean, just a nasty finish from Jocelyn Edwards. Very impressive. I'm excited to see her back in there. And I'm thinking maybe you put her in with a Carl Rosa.
Yeah, Carl Rosa would be a really good one, actually. I think that's a fun matchup for both women. It's a good stakes match, right? To kind of tell you where these women are at. I think another one that would make sense is Irene Aldana or Jacqueline Cavalcante. They haven't fought, have they? No, she fought Josiana Nunez. I was like, I know she fought one of the J ladies. Different J lady. And yeah, the ref for that fight, as well as the ref for the other fight we talked about, a late stoppage in, Carrie Hatley. Send them both to jail. Send them both to prison, man. Like, come on.
Federal fucking prison.
You know what I'm saying? Stopping fights that late.
That's fucking illegal.
Can't do that. Can't do it.
One of these refs had parlays going or something.
Yeah, the refs definitely had parlays go, bro. They're like, nah, you sure you don't want to just go to the 30-second mark? Just let it go a little longer. I have the over 2.5 in this one, hun. Oh, man. Welterweight bout up next between my guy, Punahele Soriano, and Ramiz Brahimaj. Punahele Soriano is one of these flying Hawaiian kind of fighters, he's a very fun time to watch, and you can tell that he's here for a good time, not a long time kind of mentality. I like this guy. I like this guy a lot. Like I said previously, I think that he is one of these dudes that is improving every time he gets out there, and he's almost taken a step back and realized, fuck, I actually can grapple. I'm a pretty good grappler, guys. I can do this. And he did just that, right? Again, 3 for 4 on his takedowns attempted and landed in this fight against Ramiz Brahimaj, who actually is a pretty solid grappler. Punahele racks up 5 minutes of control time. And again, first round, it's like he doesn't know he has takedowns. He forgets he has grappling. He's just in a fight, right? 21-31 on total strikes landed. He's down. 17-31 on significant strikes landed. He's down. And then round 2 happens and he's like, oh, wait, I have takedowns. So he gets 1 takedown off of 1 attempt. Racks up 2.5 minutes of control time, 2:35 to be exact. 7-5 on significant strikes, 26-10 on total strikes. Again, he's realizing, holy fuck, this might be something. This might be a path to victory for me, guys. And then he goes out there and he replicates it in the 3rd round, right? He goes 2 for 3 on takedowns in the 3rd round, racking up another 2+ minutes of control time. His opponent did land a takedown of his own as well, right? He attempted 4 of them in that round and landed 1. He racks up just under 2 minutes of control time. But the difference is in the strikes. The proof is in the pudding here, folks. 19-2 on total strikes landed in round 3. 16-2 significant strikes landed in round 3. And again, if we look at the control time, it's 5 minutes to 3 minutes and 48, which is not a huge discrepancy. But if we look at where the actual landed by position strikes were, Ramiz Brahimaj landed 0 strikes when he was on the ground. Even when he was in control for almost 4 minutes, he landed 0 strikes. Whereas, again, 2% of the totality of strikes landed by my guy Punahele Soriano were actual grounded strikes. So the guy was actually doing more with the positioning when he had it. And that's how you win fights, especially when you don't know how these judges are going to fucking work or score it. So great job from Punahele Soriano. I can't wait to see this guy back in there, but I'm going to let you do your breakdown and give me a name.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I thought this was a tough fight to score. I thought the right man definitely got the job done. But I mean, it was a competitive fight. Both guys did things really well. Ramiz had good body kicks, good 1-2s down the middle, a few good shots when they gotten close to engage. Soriano had some good counters, good head kicks, and just got some good reversals on Ramiz as well when he was shooting. Overall, so good takedown defense, pretty competitive rounds, 1 and 2, but Soriano just took over in that third round, reversed every position, got some takedowns of his own, had some good elbows inside the clinch. I mean, he just wore Ramiz down in that third round. Soriano's on a 4-fight win streak now. So, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing him in there with a Muslim Salikov, and maybe we could do Ramiz versus Santiago.
I was thinking, I like both those names for sure. I was thinking Wonderboy Thompson for Punahele or Neil Magny.
Those would both be fun. Yeah, both of those would be fun.
Yeah, neither of those guys have a dance partner. Both are coming off losses. Steven's coming off 3 back-to-back losses. He's lost every way you can lose in his last 3 fights. 1 by sub, 1 by knockout, 1 by decision. That's tough stuff. But I think that'd be a fun matchup, man.
Don't do that to my boy.
I like Steven. That's what sucks about it, bro. And then in the next bout, we had Fresh Prince Phil Rowe coming in against Jean-Paul Le Bosniani. Man, I mean, we talked about this guy a bit last week. We knew he was scary by the roar he made at the weigh-ins. We'll play it again for the people. One more time. I mean, just mighty stuff. Mighty stuff, folks. Yeah, this was a very, very fun scrap, man. I thought Le Bosniani, he's a tough prospect, bro. He surprised me a lot. He was shutting down Phil's opposition quite a bit. But I'll let you take the lead on this. And what were your thoughts? What stood out to you from a technicality standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, this was a really fun fight. I mean, both of these guys had good moments, but I thought John Paul took the fight by a landslide. Phil Rowe was just a little too late. But still, I mean, you've got to look out for anything that Phil Rowe throws. Gene Paul had some really good leg kicks, good overhands to reach a guy like Phil Rowe. And man, I just have to say, I mean, every time I see Phil in the octagon, I'm always impressed with how big he actually is for the division. But I mean, anyways, Gene Paul just had a lot of aggression, was able to keep Phil backing up. Did a good job at mixing his strikes and then getting a takedown, or at least, getting to Phil to back up against the cage. And that was really slowing the momentum down in Gene Paul's favor. He also had a lot of success in the fight where he would just, have a dominant position. Phil Rowe would, get close to getting a hip out or rotating out. John Paul would snatch up the neck, just didn't let go. And it wasn't perfect technique for getting a choke or anything, but that's not really what matters there. I mean, he caused Rowe to just, go back on his back every time. John Paul was just able to get on top and do his thing. Phil Rowe had a good few moments in the last 15 seconds, in the third, but overall just, was a great performance from Gene Paul and just, was not enough, a little too late, like I said. And then this fight was a split decision. Am I correct?
It was a split decision.
Kind of shocked hearing, a split decision result. I thought John Paul took the fight, pretty effortlessly. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I've got. I've got
may have been closer than you thought.
Yeah, it might have been. I might need to go back and rewatch it, but I thought John Paul definitely did won most of the rounds.
I thought round 1 was a clear round for Jean Paul. I thought round 3 was a clear round for Phil Rowe, and I think round 2 was the swing round for that judge.
Okay.
Because they essentially traded output, and I spoke about this a little bit on the last show, right? Like, Phil Rowe's biggest problem is he's a very slow starter.
Yeah. He
comes in there in round 1 and he does his downloading phase, and I said that'd be a problem against somebody like a Jean Paul because he's going to just unload a limitless barrage of strikes your way. And he did exactly that. He's very consistent with the takedowns and control is Jean Paul. He landed 1 takedown per round, no matter how many he attempted, right? He attempted 4 in the first round. He attempted another 4 in the second round. It only took him 1 in the third round. But again, minute 46 seconds of control time, minute 49 seconds of control time, minute 42 seconds of control time. Very consistent with his ground game and grappling onslaught. When it came to the striking, though, very inconsistent. Round 1, 43 strikes landed. Round 2, 26 strikes landed. Round 3, 15 strikes landed. So as the fight went on, his output on striking in general just dilapidated, right? It just degraded over time. Whereas Phil Rowe, notoriously slow starter, 15 strikes landed in round 1, 20 in round 2, 24 in round 3. So he slowly but surely started to overtake the fight, right? Yes, he landed 6 less strikes than his opponent in round 2, but only 3 strikes separated them in significant strikes. It was 16-19. And the optics of when Phil was punching him in that second round, they did look much heavier and much more kind of daunting, the shots he was taking. So I could see how that was a split decision. Do I think Jean-Paul deserved the nod and he got it? Yes, absolutely. The judges got it right. But I'm not mad or screaming robbery for the one judge that scored it 29-28 in favor of Phil Rowe. I thought Phil Rowe did exactly enough to win that last round. The 24-15 on total strikes, 24-15 on significant strikes, and the accuracy clip was better, right? 44% accuracy and 36% for Jean-Paul. But again, round one, it was 84-53% accuracy in favor of Jean-Paul. And if we really want to get down to the nitty gritty, since there's only 3 strikes separating them and significant strikes in round 2, the guy with higher accuracy was Jean-Paul in round 2 as well, right? To the tune of 59-51%. Again, not a huge discrepancy there, but if we have to go to all of the stats and facts in order to pick a winner, that's what we should be doing. And it should be Jean-Paul. I think that this guy is tough. I think that he has very good lateral movement. I think that the footwork and the grappling really stood out the most to me in this fight. And the clinch work, right? He was able to really sap a lot of the size and energy, that 8.5 inch reach advantage that Phil Rowe brought. He was able to delete that to an extent by utilizing the grappling entries as well as the clinch ups that he had. As far as what I think should be next for the young man, let's see, welterweight. Because again, he's good. I don't want to see him end up getting kind of the Icarus effect, as I call it, where they push him too fast, too far.
Yeah, I don't want to see him get rushed.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of really good options for him, right? Like, you could give him somebody like a Chaos Williams, an Oban Elliott, or a Danil Danchenko. I think all 3 of those names match up very, very well against him, and also for him as well, favorably.
Yeah,
what was your name?
I wouldn't be mad at like a Gunnar Nelson, but again, that might be a big jump up in competition. And then I
wouldn't be mad at a Gunnar Nelson. He's coming off what, 2 back-to-back losses now?
Yep, that's kind of why I was thinking him. So I mean, Gunnar Nelson I think would be good.
Oh no, just 1 loss. He was on a 3-fight win streak before that.
Okay.
Or 2. Yeah, he lost to Gilbert Burns back in 2019. Took a few years off, came back and beat Takashi Soto, and then fought Brian Barberena, the Barbarian, and beat him. And then he lost to Kevin Holland in 2025, 2 years after that. It's very, very, very inconsistent fighter when it comes to how often he fights. He was supposed to have another fight in July last year against Neil Magny, but that one got canceled as well. So I'm wondering if he's okay health-wise. But either way, one that I was right on. I feel like I was getting ganged up on by you and Nano here, and the chat, calling my guy a little bit fruity. And you know what? The performance didn't beat any of those allegations, if I'm being honest. The booty smacking. Jordan Levitt in the featherweight division versus Yair Davali. This was, I think the best way to say it is an interesting matchup, right? Levitt was persistent with his grappling entries. He chain wrestled and was very reactive to shots and feints, working his way in. Controlled with top pressure, very heavy hips and chain submissions to just try and basically keep his opponent on guard, right? Nothing was ever really sunk in, but he was just putting threats and fissures out there. And he neutralized Davali's scrambles pretty effectively and pretty consistently for overall positional dominance. That last round was very weird. He was just kind of standing there. It looked like he was jerking off a ghost a handful of times. I'm not sure what kind of feint that was or who taught him that. He's all,
yeah.
And then he gets the back, and instead of punching the butt, he just reaches around to start smacking his ass, and then licks his lips. It's like, what do we do with this? He's got a wife and a kid, but people keep saying he's gay, so I guess he's going to keep giving the people what they want. I'm not sure. I'm surprised he didn't twerk after the fight, but or maybe he did, and I walked away to grab another drink. But either way, it was an impressive performance. He went out there and beat this guy, and again, I say you have to investigate Yair Davali's last fight.
Federal fucking prison.
Because some shit happened, bro. Some shit happened. He's good, but he's not that good. He should not have beat Isaac Dolgarian, who has to change his name to I Suck Dolgarian after that bullshit. Pip, what were your thoughts on this? And do you have a name burning on the tip of your tongue for the Monkey King to fight next?
So I mean, you said interesting performance. I almost thought it was a little bit of a disrespectful performance from Jordan Levitt. I mean, we got some butt smacks, some weird feints, like you said. I mean, just kind of his usual zesty performance, if I'm being respectful. But I mean, it was a very smart and technical fight for Jordan Levitt. I mean, he had some good trips to get Yair to the ground, heavy top pressure, and Yair just didn't have an answer or really much urgency to really get back to his feet either. I mean, when the fight was standing, Jordan was able to just, circle out, land a few jabs, had some teep kicks just to keep Yair at range. Even when Yair was trying to get the takedown, I mean, Jordan was smart and just held a tight guard, didn't really allow Yair to really get any offense going. And then he was able to reverse the position. So, I mean, this was definitely a frustrating fight for Yair. But ultimately, that's on you for not being able to find the range or utilize your own grappling. So now we have Levitt in the featherweight division. And I think we could do a lot of fun matchups for Levitt. I think we can maybe do a guy like Jamal Emmers or maybe even a Hyder Emil. I think that would be a fun matchup. And then for Yair, I mean, maybe give him a little bit of a step down and we could see him against a Jack Jenkins maybe.
Ooh. Those are fun. Those are very fun. I don't think anybody's going to like the names that I have.
It's kind of fun now that he's at featherweight. I think there are some interesting matchups, no matter, how
I think it makes it way more fun matchup wise. Like
yes.
And again, like you can shoot the messenger in this case, but I think him versus Korean Superboy would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Doo-Ho Choi.
Yeah.
I think that's a fun matchup. Or maybe Muhammad Naimov, Hillman, great grappler, strong, heavy hands, coming off of a loss, TKO loss to be exact. I think those are fun matchups. Like you said, I think featherweight is a wide open landscape, and there's just a lot more fun matchups for him at this weight class. And he looked good. He looked good at featherweight. If he can make the cut easily, I think he was undersized at lightweight. So good on him. And speaking of good on someone, good on Juliana Miller, right? Because she, failure is always an option, but it is a choice, as Chael Sonnen said. And she chose to not give up, to not quit on herself out there. And she fought to the very end, bro. Like, she made it a competitive fight against someone that it should not have been a competitive fight against. She attempted 13 takedowns in this bout, which was crazy to me, right? The output there. She actually landed 2 of those. And racked up a decent clip of control time in the fight too. And while she was on the back, she was trying constantly to sink submissions and get something to work for her, right? She racked up almost 4 minutes of control time in that takedown, that one takedown, 3 minutes and 38 seconds. And I thought that she put on a damn good fight, right? She actually got 1 minute and 58 of that control time in round 1 with that takedown. And then she got her second takedown in round 3 with 1 minute and 40 minutes of control time there. The issue is, even when she had double the control time, and in the last round, more than 5 times the control time, she still got outlanded almost 2-1 in both those rounds. Carly Judice outlanded her 18-10 in round 1, 35-17 in round 2, and 26-9 in round 3 in terms of significant strikes. And again, when Carly was on her feet, or not, she was throwing fucking heat, bro. Like, I know she's a smaller girl. Women's flyweight usually does not have a ton of knockout power unless we're talking about like a Wong Kong, who, fun fact, has a win over Valentina Shevchenko in kickboxing years ago. Look it up. But Carly Judice, this chick has power in both hands, and her kicks are nasty. Her fight IQ is something that's very impressive to me whenever she's in there. I do think she needs to work on the grappling a little bit because some of those exchanges that she was in, the scrambles, a bit dicey, a bit scary for me. But I feel like depending on who they match her up with, this chick is a pretty safe bet moving forward. Pip, anything stand out to you in this one?
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much ate the food on my plate and then went to go get for seconds. But I mean, yeah, Miller definitely started out a bit better than I thought she would. I mean, she was able to get the fight to the ground and even had good back control, started looking for the rear naked choke. That didn't last long. I mean, Carly was able to find her range, controlled the fight. She was a little bit more it seemed physically stronger than Juliana Miller. She would be able to just kind of pull Miller off when she would go in. But like you said, I mean, 2 out of 13 takedowns Miller was able to get. Although Miller's grappling definitely looked, improved. She got close to an arm naked choke a few times with that as well. But I mean, Carly had good combinations, good elbows, like you said. Carly did a really good job at stepping outside of Miller's lead leg, landed some heavy shots. Just really good angles that she was able to cut. I mean, like you said, her IQ is just, I mean, she's a very smart fighter when she's in there. So, I mean, I'm almost thinking, so now we've got Carly on Joanna. I'm thinking maybe we do Carly versus Veronica Hardy, or maybe even JJ Aldrich. If you got any
I'm not mad at either of those. I think the Veronica Hardy match would be a lot of fun.
I think it would be too.
I think that'd be a lot of fun. The two names that I had were Eduardo Maura on the low end.
Yeah.
I think she deserves a top 15 nod. I think she deserves a chance to crack those rankings. And then if we want to kind of really shoot for the stars here, pair her against Miranda Maverick, bro. I think she's ready.
Yeah.
Miranda Maverick's coming off of a decision loss. I think she's a tough competitor. But again, she's kind of the litmus test at women's flyweight of like, is this woman a contender? If they can get past a Miranda Maverick, then top 10 at the very least for her after that.
I like that shout. I like Maverick for that. That's a good shout.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. I just think stylistically they match up very well. You've got classic striker versus grappler. And if she can survive the grappling onslaught of Miranda Maverick, because make no mistake about it, she is basically like Juliana Killer Miller 3.0, if we're comparing the two. That'd say a lot about where she is in her kind of career right now and her capabilities. It would also give us a realistic kind of barometer on where her ceiling is. Because right now, with who she's fighting, it's tough to make that read. You know, I just think she's better than these girls, and it's tough to see. Crazy that people this Khamzat will actually fight this year. He's not coming back till 2028. Now he's talking about going up another weight class, and Dana shut that shit down last night at the presser. He literally said, like, yeah, he's talking about going up another weight class. I'd like to see him defend his belt at his weight class. Make the weight and defend your belt. Then we can talk about you going somewhere else and getting another belt.
I mean, he hasn't even had one defense yet. How are you going up?
Yeah, like what are we doing, bro? Like the belts are not toys to put on the shelf after you get them. It's not how this works. But that's it, folks. That's them's the fights, and we hope you enjoyed them. We hope you enjoyed the show. Let us know if you cashed any bets. We did. We ended up putting out in totality during live betting and the show bets 14.7 units, and we made 16.75 back. So a profit of 2.05 units, and that brings our yearly profit to 2.99 units up on the year. We are tracking this way more meticulously this year, so that way we can have a realistic baseline to tell you where we lie at the end of H1 and then at the end of the total year. Let us know if you cast any bets. Comment below. If you haven't already done so, please help us out by liking the stream. Comment afterwards. Smash that bell for notifications if you haven't already done so. And make sure you march on over to Pip's Piano Tips and hit that man with a like on a couple of his videos too. Leave him some comments. He's a fucking stud on the keys. And if you're a fan of piano, you're missing out by not tuning in. So check it out.
Appreciate it.
And folks, again, if you do none of the things we've asked you to do, that's okay. As long as you do these next two things. We ask that you keep on going and you keep on growing. And I'll see you after this fucking work trip.
You've been listening to the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. As you may have been able to tell, we dig the MMA, and our passion is to dive deep into the upcoming fights, give you our expert breakdowns, and help you make sense of all the chaos that is the fight game. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, make sure to find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at MMAnomaly. Be cool, and we'll see you next time.